All right, everybody. Thanks for hopping on tonight. The presentation for this evening is run by Bill Foltz. Bill's going to cover some plays from this past spring season. So, Bill, take it away.
All right, perfect. Let me, you're sharing the screen or I share kind of content, right?
Yep. You should be, I can't see your sharing yet, but. That's what happens when you miss rehearsal, Foltz.
Ah,
There we go.
perfect. All right. So what I've done is I've put together several plays here just to highlight some things that happened during the spring season. I think it's easiest to learn by watching plays and realizing how they apply to the rules. So let's get started here. So let's start off with a kickoff.
Leathernecks, remember, only have one timeout left, so they need a big stop here on defense. Try to get some time off the clock and get another score if they can hold the Bears scoreless. Another pooch kick, it looks like, and it will go back. Wow.
So what do we got here? We have any line of scrimmage guys on the call that could tell me what just happened here?
Well, I think the important question to ask is whether or not a kicking team player touched it before the ball went out of bounds. Or excuse me, a receiving team player, I mean. Because if it did,
So the ball went out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Uh-huh.
So if the receiving player did not touch the ball, where are we putting it?
We got to kick out of bounds.
Yep, 35.
Perfect. So if the receiving player did touch it, we're going to the 8.
Yep.
One thing to realize is we're kicking off. So everybody has just written down the score and the time.
Hold the Bears scoreless. Another
So if it is only the kicking team player that touched the ball,
go back.
do we take any time off the clock?
It's still a legal touch because it's hit some yard.
That's just enough.
Exactly. So we have the time written down on our books, so we know how much time we can take off if any player has touched it when it's gone beyond 10 yards.
Right. So you, just to clarify, Bill, because I broke up for a second. So if that, let's say we have a K touch there at the 10, right?
Their mental mistake.
We should be cranking the clock because that's a legal touch.
Correct.
Okay. Just making sure. That's what I thought I heard you say, but I wasn't sure.
Yep. And this did go to replay. Coach was asking why it was going to replay, and we let him know we're making sure that the receiving team did touch the ball, because if they didn't, we're going to 35. And we did properly take some time off the clock for this play.
Missouri State, they just let that ball roll and go out of bounds.
Any questions or opinions on that one?
I got a question. So when that ball was touched, should line of scrimmage guys crank the clock?
On his lap here.
Yes.
The time period when he touches either player touches the ball and he has to make a ruling is very short. We can help with making an announcement. We can help with asking questions, making sure who touched the ball. Are we taking time off the clock? This is a perfect time for an ruling official to make sure that we are getting the proper time on the clock with this. If he would have wound it and then killed it within the millisecond he had to have his mind digest what his eyes just saw, would be phenomenal.
Well, I mean, timing's not real critical probably at this stage, but you also have to know whether the ball's touched in bounds or not. It's very close to the sideline, so you've got to make sure it's touched in bounds versus being on the sideline and touching.
Yeah, for a recovery, or whether or not R did touch it when it was in bounds, correct?
So you got a lot going on here.
Yeah, Bill, if I could jump in real quick. One thing we didn't talk about in this play is the positioning of the line of scrimmage official. And as you're running this through, it looks like, I don't know if it's the line judge or headline judge, but whoever's the line of scrimmage official down there does a really nice job of staying on the pylon and not coming upfield. Because if you run that back, that ball hits around, I don't know, 18, 20 yard line. And I think a lot of times as line of scrimmage officials, we get in a hurry to come upfield and try and stay even with the returner. We do a really nice job here of just sitting back and really not moving. And it's something that probably goes unnoticed, but we probably get this right on the field because we're not moving and can digest this entire thing because we're standing still. So just something to point out on this play.
Would you have rotated into the end zone so like a deep guy would on a punt to straddle that pylon?
No, I wouldn't. I would probably just stand there and watch. I don't think I can get a better look. I think I'm getting the same look at the back of the white as I would straddling the pylon, to be quite honest. I think the important thing on this play is that we do stay stationary and aren't moving. It would be very easy to just kind of take this off and start to jog upfield when that ball hits the 20 yard line, 18 yard line. And the fact that we're standing still, I think we have a really good shot at getting this right. So no, I wouldn't come in and straddle it. I would stay stationary, just like that line of scrimmage official did.
Gotcha.
I agree. I think that holding that position is fine. I think you can see up the sideline just as well from the back of the white as you can from right on it, especially when it comes up on you that quick.
All right, got another kickoff play here, which was a surprise onside kick where they didn't even break the huddle. All players were within the 5 yard belt and they just ran up and just kicked the ball. So we got to remember several things on this. That kicking line is a plane. And when is the kicking team allowed to block the receiving team? So a key indicator for whether it's the kicking team or the blocking team that's initiating the contact is usually the receiving team's going to initiate the contact unless they're trying to field the ball. They're not going to stand there and absorb any contact just for no reason. So who has, whether or not there's 4 up front on this, so we're not 6 in the box. Who needs to be watching this early block?
I think is that something that B and U should be getting, because I would imagine the deep wings are probably looking straight down the line, looking for the touch and the recovery, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with 4 in the box, and if it is kicked to one side, the backside official is going to be more prevalent on seeing those blocks because it will open up to them. And the FNS do have the touching whether or not the ball does go 10 yards before K touches the ball here.
Looks like a very pleasant day to have to make that ruling.
Yeah, every day is pleasant at Butler. Makes sense. Anything else on this one?
Hey, Bill, we had a play like this earlier in the season, and I pretty much did what the back judge and the umpire did was I was moving as the play, and this is set up kind of similar to ours, where the play was coming to my side. And so I was moving to try to find a block because I was getting kind of, walled out by these players. And something that was commented on by multiple people was how myself and the umpire were moving. And so that's started to become one of my pre-snap things, is that if it is an onside, to tell myself to stay still. It's a lot easier to see it when you're not moving.
Yeah.
I don't think the umpire's really moving that fast on this. Just kind of walking, and then once the ball gets starting advancing down the field. Yeah, but absolutely, yeah. There's no reason to really move if you're a back judge or umpire until the ball is down the field. Absolutely, good point. Anything else on this one? Okay, move on to a punt play then. I'll show this and then we'll go to the end zone view. So what is the rule for KCI as far as the return team player being able to field the ball? Does there have to be contact?
No, just within a 1 yard belt or bubble.
He still
Just
has to
within the
be-
yard, within the,
still
get it
has to
within the
be-
shoulders and within a yard?
Correct, yeah. Doesn't matter if he catches it or not either.
So what do you think of the action of this kick cover player? Does he get within the frame, within a yard?
Uh, From that angle,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right there.
He makes them take an indirect path to the ball. And we don't want cheap turnovers. I would categorize that as both.
So this is me, and I did not call. I had that he went off to the side, and I had that he did not run a different route because of the kick player.
How,
So the ball then,
sorry, Bill.
so the ball then touches the ground and then touches the kicking team player. Or the receiving team player. So then it's still a kick. The status of the ball is still a kick. So the kicking team player can recover the ball but not advance it. Is that Devin that was going to say something? Or Billy?
It was Devin. Bill, I was just wondering how close in front of him he was, if that makes any sense.
I don't know if we could see it from the sideline view or not.
Right there is kind of your money shot, it looks like to me.
yard.
It was a bizarre play. I put it on my quick ref, and they actually did not say this should have been KCI. So I thought it was
I'd take that as
50-50
a
whether or
win.
not I was going to get a grade on it or not. So just be aware that if that return player has to run around the defender, that also can trigger the KCI.
What's your, can we go back to you show your IP on that?
I don't know if we have it on the end zone.
What's
view
your
or not.
what's your normal IP?
It's 7 deep and on a yard on the inside shoulder of the returner. I'm going to let him dictate which way he's going to go, and then I'll go the opposite way. I know they want us to be 7 deep and maybe 2 yards off the shoulder, but
So you say on the short side?
no, on the wide side, on his inside. So I'll be closer to I'll be like closer to the middle of the field than he is.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Yeah. I'm about the same. It doesn't look like a very good punt, which makes us look bad. And I'm always hesitant to run up, but back judge myself trying to, last thing I want is the ball going over our head. Right. So it's a tough play because it puts us in a bad view if we're 15 yards from that play trying to make a ruling.
Yeah, once the ball bounces, it can go anywhere. I agree with that. Any other comments or opinions on that one?
Was that pressure once again by North Dakota, making Camp step up in the pocket and tuck it and run.
So the South Dakota offense able to drive 53 yards.
So we're punting from the 41 going in. So all 3 deep should be on the goal line. And what are the rules regarding the goal line and where the players can stand,
they get into North Dakota territory,
and where they can touch the ball?
A penalty and a big sack. The Fighting Hawk defense steps up. Scott, though, able to pin the Fighting Hawks inside their own 1-yard line.
They can
Down the field.
they can be wherever they want. It's just a matter of where the ball is when it's touched. We don't care about where they are.
So what is this action by the kicking team player? How do we classify it?
The Fighting Hawk defense steps up.
What did he do to the ball?
He batted it in the end zone, it appears.
So we have to know whether or not that bat is in the end zone. Is that a foul?
Not in this case.
It's the exception to the batting in the end zone rule. So if he didn't bat it in the end zone and he batted it at the half-yard line, do we have to know what that spot is?
Yep.
So that's the first illegal touching spot.
Scott, though,
how many illegal touching spots do we have on this play?
Looks like 2.
Because that possession is actually an illegal touching. And that's the place where the receiving team will actually end up taking the ball.
Scott, though, able to pin the Fighting Hawks inside their own 1-yard line. Great coverage down the field by the Coyotes.
Let's see if we have another view of this one.
I take it though, Bill, that the covering officials on the goal line ruled both touches to be not in the end zone based on mechanically how that looked.
Correct. Otherwise, the back judge should have dropped a bag for that first bat in the end zone.
So mechanically, Bill, as a back judge and with your deep wings, what kind of communication do you have on plays like this to make sure that, say, one of you doesn't throw a bag in the end zone and the other one put a bag in the field of play?
If you have 100% certainty of where that is, then put the bag in the end zone. If you're not sure, it's a kick play, the clock stopped, you have plenty of time to talk about it.
Fair enough.
All right, actually, I put the wrong play for number 5 on here, so we'll skip to 6. Bless you.
Thank you.
All right, 6, 7, and 8 are pretty much consecutive plays. What on earth?
Different at this college level. 18 of 29.
All right, so this is the very first play from scrimmage after a touchback. So watch the far side tight end come across the field.
Begin at the 25-yard line, and he will throw on first down and out into the flats as the UNI Panthers have Isaiah Weston streaking down the field. You're looking for his first touchdown of his career. Here it is.
Is that a foul?
Lineman downfield, maybe?
It's tough to,
This
it's
is
tough.
the-
It's a little jumpy, Bill.
Okay, this is the tight end coming across the field about the 30-yard line. Is that a foul?
Can you have an unnecessary roughness on a legal receiver?
Well,
Well-
actually, he gets tackled is what happens.
And missed.
The safety comes up, realizes he's beat, and tackles the tight end coming across the field.
Then yes, that would be a foul.
Is that a foul we want called? So that action just happened. So what do we have to do next?
It's a two-step process. You gotta look at the quarterback and see if he's got the ball. If he's still got it, hadn't thrown it, you probably have a foul.
Exactly.
Ball's gone, then you got.
So we had that foul. And pretty shortly thereafter, the ball's thrown downfield. So depending on your timing of seeing the foul and then finding the quarterback for your two-step process is whether or not you're going to end up calling that foul. If you don't, write it up so your supervisor knows you saw it. So it's pretty blatant. So touchdown, very next play.
And Sean McGuire for several years.
From scrimmage.
But he's finally gotten his opportunity
After a touchback.
to manage this offense.
We're starting
He's
at the
really done a nice
25-yard
job in the
line.
passing game.
We have trips. Who's the line of scrimmage taking on this play?
2
So the back judge has 3.
right now, yes.
Western out for
The ball's
the first-
thrown to 3. What's the line of scrimmage guy doing?
Well, the 3 ran right at me, so I'm switching immediately because he doesn't release. Are you switching then too?
I am. I'm going to watch this number 2 come down and make this block. Does he get him 10-2?
Yeah. I think
More
so.
than
Does he
5.
block away from the original position of the ball?
No.
I mean, he blocks pretty much straight ahead, maybe slightly to the outside. He doesn't block back toward the ball, certainly.
Okay,
More
so we
than-
just did a touchback. So what's the problem with this block?
More than 5.
Yep, we started at 25. You know, if he blocks more than past the 30-yard line, he can't go down low.
Mhm.
So they did get this call.
10, and a flip out into the flats.
So
This
remember,
is
we
Tony
just started
Tate,
at
and
the
Tony Tate
25-yard line.
making defenders miss out across the
Where are we
42.
going to enforce that foul from?
That's a personal foul, so it's the end of run.
Well, did it occur? But the block looks like it was thrown before the catch. If that's the case, it'd be previous spot. If it was after the catch, we go from the spot of the foul. Looks like prior to the catch.
Gotcha. So you got to know which segment this play occurred in, or the foul occurred in. Was it during the catch and then the run play that was after the catch, or was it before the catch? And as you see by the next play,
Snap it from inside the 15.
they
As
enforced it
Sampson
from the previous spot. Went half the distance to the 12.5.
That was wrong. In that case.
So it's pretty close whether or not which segment of the play that foul occurred in.
Will it still be
back
first and
underneath
10?
center. First and long.
No, it'd be first and 37.5. No, first and 22.5. The line to gain will still be the 35.
Sampson back underneath center.
Apologize about the slow internet here.
Me situation right here for the offensive line to really.
All right, so
prove
we
that-
got trips at the bottom of the screen, single receiver at the top. So what is the line of scrimmage guy at the top of the screen watching?
The tackle, then the back.
against a stout defense. Because the Panthers really
Now
need
we flip
points.
two trips
They're
at the
gonna,
top
you
of
know,
the screen. What's the line of scrimmage guy at the top of the screen watching?
Slot guy.
So the back judge will take that tight end.
get in this game. The Redbirds really have some good momentum.
UNI offensively averaging almost 3.5 yards per rush attempt. Here's a pass out to Fortenberry,
Who should
drops
see that
it.
action? Who's watching the catch?
Redbirds really have some good momentum.
UNI offensively averaging almost
Hey,
3.5
Bill.
yards
Yeah.
per rush attempt. Here's a
This
pass
is my
out to
play, so
Fort-
could I say what I did and then what I should have done?
Sure. I
Alright,
didn't
so
realize
what-
that.
No, it's fine. So my tight end blocked down. I saw the two receiver bubble out. So I actually shifted to the receiver at the top looking for a block. Which at the time made sense. However, I should have moved to this receiver here trying to make the catch. Because what we have is the ruling on the field was a catch fumble. And it didn't seem right. The timing just didn't seem right. So that should have been kind of a key, but I couldn't really help on it because I was watching this block at the 32.
So let me ask you this, Devin. Are you treating this play different at Northern Iowa than you would at Valparaiso?
After having a talk to after this play, I think I'm going to treat it the same. Yeah, you're talking about from a play earlier in the call or just in general?
Just in general, just
Um,
Are you gonna be more hesitant to get involved, or would you be more aggressive without replay?
oh, okay, now I understand. All right, I thought you were just talking about teams. With this play, I'm gonna come in and talk to, I might not be hitting my whistle from 25 yards out, right, coming in. If they're really on the field, was a catch fumble, but I might bring that information to our line of scrimmage guy saying, hey, I don't have possession, or, did he complete the process of the catch? Trying to key him in to say, look, I don't have a catch. And if he's looking straight through and he's got that look, then we're gonna have to go back to a philosophy then. But that was kind of what when I talked to our trainer about, was that I don't have to come in from 25 yards away, waving the incomplete, but I can bring that information into my guy to say, hey, look, I don't have a catch, and tell him why I don't have a catch. And then we need to come to a decision.
So without replay, would your information you're bringing to the line of scrimmage guy be different?
I think the information is going to be the same, but maybe how I deliver it could be different, if that makes sense.
And I agree with that. Yeah, I would be much more that this is not a catch fumble. This is just an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think here maybe ask the questions. Are you sure you completed the process of the catch? Did you see? Ask him those questions. Whereas at Valpo or a game without replay, rather say,
rush attempt. Here's
I don't have a catch.
Fortenberry,
didn't
who
complete the
drops
process
it.
of a catch, and feed him that information. Then let him ultimately make a decision of what we're going to do, but lead him to the point of this was an incomplete pass.
Perfect.
This should be in.
All right, anybody else on that play?
Because that is still an option.
All right, so we have a motion man who's pretty much playing around behind the tackles here. So as a back judge, I'm pretty much going to let the quarterback tell me which way the ball is going to go on this play. So we're snapping at the 13. Field and side judge, where will you be at on this play? Do we have any field side judges? Or is it just all back judge and line of scrimmage?
Goal line.
Yeah, to the goal line.
Because that is still an option.
Davison strong in the backfields. Gronowski to throw though on play action. Second one towards the end zone, caught by the pylon. Touchdown, South Dakota State. Mason Layton making the grab.
You gotta be straight back. You gotta be on the goal line.
Play action.
Just gotta get deeper, but you can't back away from the goal line.
Yeah, I think this official had great position and until the last second when you realize the receiver is going to be jumping right at his feet.
I mean, the key there is to clean the sideline out before the play starts and be back on the restraining line. And if you have to get deeper than that, hope you have room, but you've got to back up, not move to the side. You just can't give the goal line up.
So what do we need for this to be a completed pass? And what do we need for this to be a touchdown?
Well, completed pass.
Sideline's the same, except the pylon is out of bounds.
Right. So he needs to have firm
We can't
control
touch the pylon before he
hits the pylon. Firm control before the pylon.
Yep. And can he have a foot down in the field of play and extend the ball across the goal line? Or does he have to have his
he can, I mean, he doesn't get the goal line extended until he's got a body part touching either in the end zone or the pylon itself.
Perfect.
Is under further
So he
review.
knocked that
Looks like he
pylon
taps
over,
the
so he had to
feet.
complete the
Pylon
catch
gets dropped.
before any body part touched that
For
pylon.
psychology, just need the 1 foot down. You've got
I think that's actually our
football
best views
secured.
right there.
Looks like he taps the
Just waiting on confirmation from upstairs that this was good. Is under further review.
boy, it looks like he taps the feet. Pylon gets dropped. For psychology, just need the 1 foot down. You've got
Now, Bill, from a working that play perspective, you know, Art, you and I worked down the field from each other. You know, you've got to play that close to the sideline. We're going to be making eye contact, right?
Absolutely.
Especially with you
Yeah,
that far
yeah,
off with you that far off the pylon, you might need some help on the sideline.
And it might be a play that you might be piecing together saying, I had feet down. Did he complete the process of the catch before he touched that pylon?
And then the answer becomes, if he did, then where is the ball when he does touch the pylon? Has he broken the plane, or is it short of the goal line? I mean, where is it? Because it's dead the minute he touches it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, where's the ball at when his body part touches it? Is it in the end zone? Or is it still in the field of play? All right, well, I put a play in here for umpires in case we hit any, but I thought this play was interesting because most players understand the rules and what they can and what can't do. So this type of foul, I think, comes always by accident. Umpire has the center and the guards. Number 7 decides he's going to blitz. So both players engage. One's high, one's low. That was pretty impressive. The throw and the duck at the same time. Because I don't think that we're seeing many deliberate chop blocks anymore. It's usually the back coming up, going low, and then the offensive lineman realizing he's got a player to go block. It happens at the same time. And 76 almost like reacts like he knows that just happened.
I would think so. Steve Flanagan, that's where most of your chops come from, right? The back and the back and somebody.
Right. It'll always be the back, because the back will never engage anybody high because they'll get beat. He's always going to go low. So when you see that key on that, it'll lead you to a chop block all the time.
And you may also get some help. You may also get a line of scrimmage flag down on that chop block, depending on how clear the look is into the middle of the field, because that's somebody's key, that back. So,
Right. It'd be tough there, right in the middle of the field for a line of scrimmage, but the umpire did a great job. Just goes to show you how athletically gifted we are.
yeah.
That was impressive.
I was pretty impressed watching that. That was cool.
All right. Everybody see the time on the clock? Everybody see what yard line we're snapping from? Clock is rolling.
They're under 20 seconds to work with. No timeouts for South Dakota. Camp steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. YSU, now he's going to
what's the result of the play?
You have an incomplete pass, and it looks like
steps up in the pocket. He's going to run.
Beyond. I can't really tell. It's choppy, but we have an incomplete pass.
Exactly. The result of the play is an incomplete pass. That incomplete pass caused the clock to stop. And I don't know if you could see how many timeouts South Dakota has left.
And
None of
This
it.
was just
Looks
a
like
really
he's like 2
easy.
yards
down
down.
the field, and it's incomplete, and we have a flag
Illegal
down.
forward pass, I gotta believe. It looked like he was beyond the line of scrimmage, Camp.
Definitely thought Camp was past the line of scrimmage.
So what is the penalty for this?
I mean, it was close. Well, it all starts with that second down play where the Penguins get in the backfield and
The 5-yard spot foul, loss of down.
And
And you got 10-second runoff potential.
Yep, so we're at 9. We have a 10-second runoff. South Dakota has no timeouts, so we have halftime.
Right.
Just nice to see that actually
keep that
on a
clock
play
running. It rushed
as
up
a
this-
real life example. I thought that was really interesting. All right. We got 4 receivers at the top of the screen. Field judge, side judge, he'll take the guy at the top. Line of scrimmage, who do you have?
2.
Back judge, who do you have?
We got 3 and 4.
So it's like one of those instances where we have to take more than one player on a pass play here. So I'll let it run and then just let your keys take you to where the ball's going. So it ends up being the number 3 receiver that catches the ball. And the 4 receiver commits that block. Now it's within 4 yards of the ball. And it's away from the original position of the ball. But the ruling official said it is not 10-2. So I thought it was interesting to watch a bubble screen out of quads.
Yeah, I
For a
think
good
it's
example of. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I think, we talk about too, the chances for us to switch as line of scrimmage guys and back judges, right here at the snap, when 3 delays and starts to come towards me, I'm switching to him. So hopefully B
Yeah,
picks that
absolutely.
up- picks that up and takes 2. Because I'm watching, now I'm going to pick up the catch, no catch. And as soon as I see him complete the process of the catch, then I'll shift my eyes upfield. But there's no way that I would have seen, not that the guy that threw the block was my key at the snap anyway, but I wouldn't have been able to clear the action on the catch first to get there.
Perfect. And the back judge is not, the second guy is not threatening his block yet. So the back judge should be watching that 4th guy make that block. Make sense to everyone? Okay, I think this has come to the bottom of the screen.
Sampson making some adjustments with the offensive line, steps back into the shotgun.
Nope, it is over the middle.
Pressure coming here from North Dakota. Big pass there. Huge hit. Still able to make the catch. What a catch there. Mason Sykes there on the catch. What a play. Able to take a huge hit.
So do we like the action of the person making the tackle? Replay didn't.
hands, but he was able to right to his face mask. That can't feel good. It's a huge hit there by North Dakota. I'm not sure how he was able to keep the ball in his hands, but he was able to get a tight grip on that ball. Nice throw from Sampson. Look at the replay here. Sampson under pressure with a hand in his
So what's the defender do here?
I can't tell you.
Looks like he might be lowering his
Anybody think
head.
it's okay, so for an indicator for a crown. Is the receiver defenseless?
Yes.
He's just caught that ball. He has no way to make a move come into the game to protect himself. Was the hit in the head or neck area?
Yes.
Is it force?
Yep.
So replay got on this, and I'm not really certain if they called 913 or 914, but I think this actually could be both. Any other opinions on this one?
No, I think it's certainly a targeting foul. I agree with you that it could be either one.
I mean, the crown makes it easy for the hit. The question I would ask, which, you probably have it, but you're going to have to ask, what's the indicator? If you're saying it was, it wasn't a crown.
Yeah, if someone's calling a targeting foul, make them slow down. And your first question is ask them what their indicator is so that they can start the thought process of why am I calling this targeting? Because without indicator, and then you need to determine force and then determine if they're defenseless and add it all up. Exactly. I agree with that.
To be a little bit more efficient.
Lyle's going to go back up top. Has some time, and it is intercepted
I think
once
the
again.
audio's off a bit here.
Manchagaya gets the pick for South Dakota State, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at around the 7-yard line. That's turnover number 4 of the afternoon.
So if you're the calling
for
official,
Southern Illinois,
what are you
and they
reporting
just keep
to the
shooting
referee on this?
themselves in the foot.
Well, as we mentioned on the last drive, Scott, we talked about this defense when you're up.
See if we can get a better replay view on this.
By
Here we go.
The pass again by Lyles, just a little short, and boy, Manchagaya read that.
Yeah,
movement
Bill, it's
away.
AJ. It's a little choppy on my screen, but I think what you're trying to get at here is we have a dead ball personal foul with targeting, rather than just saying we have targeting. Because if this does go to replay and replay takes targeting off for whatever reason, I think based on what I'm seeing on my screen, this is certainly late and unnecessary by number
love the
74.
effort by the offensive line. You don't normally have to run this.
Yeah,
far, but you
absolutely.
can see it clear as day. Helmet to
And
helmet.
certainly with
Davis
fouls
already
like this
out.
that are
Already out of
a
bounds,
foul
so
without
half the distance
targeting,
to the goal line.
report
But
to
you
your
saw
referee.
earlier in that
It's
play
UNR
how
like
Manchagaya
dead
baited
ball out of bounds with targeting. Same thing if you have like a KCI with targeting, it's KCI with targeting.
Yeah, Bill, that's what the report on the
Quarterback
field
Lyles into throwing that
is.
crossing route, played a little
He did
short,
combo it,
but
and
kept
this
his
was
eyes on
one
the
where
quarterback and took away that
our
time
referee
of
put on the
friction.
headset, and before I could get out the paper to start writing, he was already off the headset with the confirmation of a targeting.
I didn't steal your place for your presentation, did I?
No, but I just crossed a few off my list, so thanks for that.
So where are we enforcing this foul from?
Read that all the way, and then here is at the end of the play.
Succeeding spot.
Yeah, we enforced it from that succeeding spot there.
That's a no-no.
Perfect.
For obvious reasons. More than
What if
one.
this hit would have occurred in the end zone?
Obviously, frustration, not making excuses.
Are you saying it would be a touchdown?
It's going to be very frustrated what's transpired here
Yes.
this afternoon. As
So,
we see
so then
the
they got
basket
the
get
option
out
on the try or the
short.
succeeding kickoff.
And boy, Manchegaya read that all the way. And then here is at the end of the play.
Perfect. Yeah, just
And oh yeah, that's helmet.
just
to
asking
helmet.
questions so we can think about if something different would have happened on the play. Perfect. I'm hoping the internet goes forward here. There we go. All right, we're snapping at the 27. All right. Let's go to the next play. I apologize about this.
Hey, Bill, I've got it if you want me to share.
Okay.
All right, hang on. All right. I'm about to hit play for you.
Perfect. Oh, okay. All right. Steve, you still on the call?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right. You've probably seen this play before. So the center puts his hands on the ball. What does that mean to you?
This is what, normal scrimmage play, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to snap. Well, obviously the snap's going in, Sue. He's ready for play, and that he shouldn't do anything that should simulate the start of the snap at all.
Right. Okay, he put the ball back down and start over again?
What are you saying? The center picked it up and
no, he just put the ball down and took his hands off the ball.
Oh yeah, he can do that as long as it doesn't made in a manner that'll entice the defense to come offside. Intentionally to draw the defense offside, but the center is allowed to do that.
Perfect. But what he has done by touching the ball the first time is lock players into position.
Right. Yeah, like I said, this looks like it's not a fourth down scrimmage play on this here, but yes, he locks. Assuming here this is a play to start the fourth quarter. It doesn't look like it's a scrimmage trick play. So yeah, I mean, so you should have the 550 to 79 in there at this point.
Yep.
So that's you should key that as an umpire first to make sure you got your 550 through 79, especially at the start of the quarter. And then you're just looking for any type of snap infraction or whatever on this here. I think with this foul, they should have, yeah, I forget, this was early in the year, but this should have been on the offense, but I think they pinned it on the defense here. This was one of those philosophy things. This didn't look like it was short yardage though on it, because it looks like they got about, what, 6 or 7 yards to go for the first down, right?
So
Yeah, it's more than 5.
when this type of action occurs, are you going to give a preliminary signal right away?
No, I'm going to look to the wings to see what they have, because I can't tell. I can tell if there's contact, but I can't tell if from where I am, if the defensive lineman, if he was in the neutral zone or what. So what should be done in this play is that they should go into the offensive backfield. The umpire should go there, should call the wings in, let the wings report to what they have, and the umpire should ask if the defense was in the neutral zone that possibly drew the offense offside, because from where you are as an umpire, you can't tell if the defender crossed into the neutral zone or not. And you need to be aware too in this play, just looking at it from the sideline angle, you got to be aware which player enticed the offense offside, because you have the end, only the players who are threatened as the defender moves in, either it's going to be the 2 players over where the defender moves, or in the case where the end here, if this end moved and he's in the neutral zone, the center moves, you got a false start on the center here. So all that needs to be communicated here. Yeah, it looks like from the sideline angle, the defender, I think he's what, 58, or I can't really see it. I got a small screen here, but if 58 crosses into the neutral zone and the center moves, that's a false start on the center, provided that 56 doesn't make contact with him, or he is not in the neutral zone either. So there's a lot to discuss here that needs to be done. But here, I would not give a preliminary signal. I would throw my flag and immediately go to the offensive backfield and look both ways to the wings to make sure that they're coming in. We're going to have a discussion about what happened.
Perfect.
I do have a question. I noticed a minute ago when the center put his hands on the ball and the guard 61 had his hands on the ground, then the guard came back up. Wouldn't that have been a false start anyways before the defense even jumped?
Technically it would be, but philosophy wise, if the defense doesn't react to that, we're not going to call that on it as a false start. You're absolutely right. In the rule book, it is per se. It is once the offensive guy puts his hand down and picks it up, it should be a false start by rule. But if the defense does not react to that, we shouldn't really slow down the game and call a false start unless the defense specifically reacts to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem at all.
We're at 9:01, but I do have one more play if you guys want to see that one. So we're snapping at the 10. When do the line of scrimmage move back to the goal line, and who moves?
So inside the 3, both of us go back. From the up to the 10, H should come back.
Okay, so we're snapped at the 10, so theoretically H should go back on this play then.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will say, and this play did come up, I wasn't live on the call, in the last line of scrimmage call that they had in the COC in the spring. There's still some confusion, it seems, about the whole trips. When does trips cause us to switch responsibilities on the from the H and the L's perspective? Because there are trips to, there end up being trips to H, or they shift to trips to H on this play. But strictly from the CFO manual, or CCA manual rather, H should go back to the goal line.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's tough if you have trips on that side. And what we're doing is, if he's in motion near the tackle, he's not being threatened by anybody. So we're leaning towards watching number 2 still on this unless he gets set. Because he's pretty darn close to the tackle. And what is he going to do? I thought this was interesting. It was a very close play to progress, and the ball needing to be completely out of the end zone for it not to be a safety.
No, had to be out. Wasn't a safety.
It certainly would be easier to get with more help on the goal line.
True. And this would be reviewable. If it was a scoring play.
Definitely couldn't have given him. Well, he could do anything.
All right, that's all I had this evening. Any questions on this one? Opinions?
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you stepping up and presenting to the group. I put the schedule up for the next couple of weeks. Next week, I'll be leading the quiz review for the first two OVC crew quizzes. I put them on, they're on our website. They should come out in the last email, and they'll go out in the calendar invitation when I get that together. And then Brian Stelzer will be leading a session on touchdown, safety, touchback, and momentum. Then do some more quiz review, and then we're going to take the week of Memorial Day off just to give everybody a break. But I appreciate everybody showing up and participating tonight. We still need people to look to present as we go forward. You can see we got a lot of open times in June and July and August. So hope you'll give some consideration to doing that. But I appreciate everybody being on the call tonight, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bill.